I think that one of the more interesting aspects of Star Wars Episode 9 is the curiosity of exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to tie it all together into the prequels, the originals, and whatever was in between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. This is Mike ZEROH. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that we do know about this film is that J.J. Abrams is bringing back the concept of flashbacks to the table here, something that he brought to the Star Wars franchise in Episode 7, and also something that Rian Johnson picked up in Episode 8. Now, J.J. Abrams will be telling a deeper story about other characters in Episode 9 in the form of flashbacks and or visions in this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. And a lot of people have really been wondering about elements of the past in the sequel trilogy. Specifically, a description of Luke Skywalker inside of the Millennium Falcon with both Han Solo and Chewbacca working on repairs. Luke appears as he did on Crate. He is walking toward Han with Han looking over his shoulder, seeing Luke. The sequence is described as a flashback and a warning from Luke to Han about Ben Solo and his dark side urges. Han Solo's face is described as being obscured and shadowed. He wears the same jacket seen in The Force Awakens. The next goes over with Luke's hand on Han's shoulder. At this point in time, it's described that an audible piece of dialogue is said, telling Han about Ben's powers and where it could lead him to. This is said to be a visual representation of what Luke was telling Rey in The Last Jedi, where Luke said Han was Han about it, and then I saw Ben, my nephew. It's described as the moment in time in which Luke asks permission to train his son, Ben. So this is a very interesting thing for sure when it comes to Episode 9. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I do know that a lot of people have mixed feelings about the use of flashbacks in a Star Wars movie. I, for one, really enjoy it as long as it tells a better story about certain pieces of the characters like Kylo, Luke, Leia, etc. that are missing in the sequel trilogy, where we could actually learn more about these characters in the form of flashbacks that really consist of, like, let's say, for example, 20 to 30 seconds. Now, this one, alright, is actually the moment in which Han Solo is actually getting warned by Luke Skywalker about his son Ben and his dark side urges. So, I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you guys actually read, I believe it was the Last Jedi novelization, or it might have been one of the Han Solo books, it actually goes over Ben Solo actually destroying one of the rooms of his own. And the furniture is everywhere, and Han Solo and Leia witness this, and they once realize that, you know, he's got this dark side to him. That was the first sign that he did have a little bit of Vader in him. And honestly, I think that what they're trying to do here with Episode 9 is trying to tell a more unique story about the character of Kylo Ren. We do know that this movie is going to be focused primarily on Kylo. Now, my only thing here is this: exactly how are they going to insert Han Solo into Star Wars Episode 9 if it's not Harrison Ford? Now, it goes over that the face is obscured and shadowed, so that's yet another sign of Disney and Lucasfilm's way of having Han Solo, but not having Han as Harrison Ford, or should I say, Harrison Ford as Han Solo. Now, given the fact that Solo: A Star Wars Story gave us a completely new Han, I think that it's safe to say that they are trying to do yet another version of Han Solo in the form of a flashback here portrayed by a different actor, where let's say maybe he doesn't actually have any dialogue per se here and there, but it is an interaction between both Luke and Han Solo, a short sequence inside of the Millennium Falcon as Han and Chewbacca are making repairs. Now, the thing here is this: if we look at the character of Ben Solo, we do know that his childhood and his whole teenage life and all of that, right, his young adult life is very mysterious as of right now. We only know him as the 29-year-old that we all see in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. And with Star Wars Episode 9 said to be 1 year later after the events of The Last Jedi, we will see a far darker version of Kylo, where we are actually going to look at him in a different way in comparison to the past two films. So what do I think about this whole entire thing that, they're toying around with that may make it to the final cut of the movie? I think it's great. An interaction between Luke and Han is always great and something that we, the fans, deserve to see in the sequel trilogy. Even Mark Hamill has suggested this for the longest time, and they didn't deliver that, I think that was one big mistake in the sequels, is that we never got to see Luke and Han Solo in the same scene together, having a nice reunion. And this would honestly be a great way to do it, where Luke is warning Han Solo about Ben Solo and his dark side. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.